is Destiny, and this is my Flosstube channel, Stitching with Bird. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I appreciate you being here. If you see anything that you like here today, I would appreciate if you would subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll just jump right in. So this is my 5th Flosstube, I believe, and this is my March recap for 2026. Today is April 3rd of 2026, so we'll just get started. For the month of March, I had no FFOs and no finishes, so I will start out with a new start that I had. And I have talked about this one before in my previous Flosstubes. This is the Cherry Blossom Creek by Dimensions, and it's the gold collection. So I had kind of a small start with that one, and I only did 113 stitches. So that's what this looks like. And that was all for my new start, so I will jump right into whips. I worked on 4 whips, and if you see me looking over here, I do have notes, so I apologize for that. I started on my 2026 Blackwork cell, and I'm doing this on 16 count Dolomite Ada by Fiber on a Whim, and I didn't get very far on it. The part that I added in was the part that doesn't have the green on it, so it's just this little part right here. The reason why I don't work on this one as much is because when I pull the file up on my computer, it gets blurry when I zoom in, so it makes it hard to see where I have to put the stitches in. And because of that, I have to use my phone for it, and the screen is significantly smaller, so it makes it a little bit more challenging. So that was all I was able to do. The next whip that I worked on is the Deadly Sal Aquarium by Lola Crow Cross Stitch, and I stitched this on 14 count white Ada that I dyed and purchased from Hobby Lobby, and I added 749 stitches into this, and this is what it looks like. I am trying to color complete for as many colors as I can, so I was able to add in more of 838, which is the brown color that's in there, and it's kind of hard to see because it's pretty dark. So I added in the 2 signs on the bottom corners, and I was able to finish all of the pillars with 838, and then I added in some white by the Stingray and more 310 into the fish over there, the little tiny fish. And that was what I added into that. The next thing that I worked on was one of my Whip Go calls, and this is the Disney Kingdom by Xana Cross Stitch. I'm stitching this on 18 count white Ada from Hobby Lobby, and I added 201 stitches into this. I do have it in clip still, so I apologize. It's kind of difficult to hold it. So when I was stitching this, my Whip Go calls are, my goal for that is to stitch 1,000 stitches on each call. And when I pulled this out, I realized I don't even have a full page done, even though I do have 8,000 stitches into this. So I started trying to do a page finish on this, which was over in this area. So I worked on this tree here, and then I added some more colors into this pink area down here too. And that was as far as I got on that one. And then the very last whip that I worked on for this month is my Hade Sal, and I'm doing, sorry, my foot's starting to hurt. I'm doing the 2026 Hade Sal, and it's Glistening Wings by L&L Designs on 25 count even weave. And this is on an easy gridded fabric, and I added 730 stitches into it. So I worked in this darker yellow color, and then I added more into this area of like a pink and purple color. And then I added some more like tan and yellow colors into this as well. So the total stitch count that I had for the month of March was 1,793, and that was all that I worked on for the month. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was haul. I did go to my LNS and I have a pretty big amount of haul to show you. The closest LNS to me is called Needle in a Haystack, and it is located in Alameda, California. I am located in Northern California, so this is about an hour and a half from where I live. Excuse me. I don't go there very often, so usually my best friend and or my husband go with me, and I couldn't get any of them to go with me that day, so I decided, this was last Saturday, to drive up there by myself. And so I had no voice of reason, and I just went crazy and purchased a bunch of stuff. So the first thing that I will show you is a stitch along that was hosted in 2024, and this is by the Bay Needle Art, and the pattern is called Harbor Haven. It is a 12-part stitch along, and I will show you, this is as big as I can get it all put together. So I apologize, I know it's really tiny. But this is what it looks like all put together. And I will actually flip through each pattern so you can see them close up as well. So this is part 1. And this is part 2. Oh, I'm losing it. Part 3. This is part 4. Part 5. Part 6. Part 7. Part 8. Part 9. Part 10. Part 11. And this is the last part, part 12. So I did actually pick up some fabric for this as well. I decided to go with a baby blue color, and actually I'll show you this one. So this is called Touch of Blue. It is a 14 count Aida. And this is actually just half of it because it will be very long. And the way that it was cut when I bought it, she cut the top off for me. So I actually have this whole other piece to do with what I want. So this is as high and as, I guess, as long as it'll be. It's like super, super long. I can't even fit it all. So yeah, she's the woman that works there. She's very helpful with calculating and cutting, and then she serged all the edges for me on the piece that I'm going to use to work on this one. And yeah, so this is all just extra. It's the same length and height as this one, so I have extra. So the reason why I was so excited about this one is because when it was bought in 2024 by the LNS, they had gotten it for half price. And so the listed price on there was $60. And I was kind of on the fence about it because, I mean, $60 I don't usually spend on patterns like this, but it is 12 pieces. So I was like, I guess this is a good price. So when I went to go buy everything, when she was entering the barcode for this particular pattern, it kept coming up as $120. And so she went and talked to the owner of the shop, and the owner said that whenever they bought it, it was half price. So because it had the $60 on there, she honored the $60. So I got that full set for half price. So I paid $60 for a $120 pattern. I had actually found this pattern from someone else on Instagram that was stitching it, and I don't remember who it was. And they were stitching it the opposite way, so they were stitching it vertically. Yes, vertically. And so they, when I went to go look on the website, they didn't have all the pieces to it, so I didn't purchase it at that time. So I was very excited when I found it in one piece and for half off at my LNS. So that was the first thing that I purchased. The next thing that I purchased and kitted up is the Blue Flower Huckleberry Farm. So the fabric that I picked out, I tried to get as similar as the one that was in the model, which is the called for is 36 shell linen by Picture This Plus. And I really liked the purple color, but they didn't have anything that was similar enough, and I liked the modeling in it. So I actually picked up a cut of 32 count Fox and Rabbit in the colorway Flannel, which has similar modeling to the model that was used. And again, this is folded in half, so I will try to show you as much of this as I can. This is a huge cut, and I thought it had very nice modeling on it. So actually, this is my first Fox and Rabbit linen, so I'm excited about that too. And then I actually picked up all of the fancy floss for this one, and it has DMC. It also has Weeks Dye Works, and then one Gentle Art and one Classic Colorworks. So I picked up all of the Weeks and the one Classic and Gentle Arts, and I will show you those. If you don't want to watch this, I'm sure it'll be pretty boring, but I wanted to at least show you in case someone else was interested. So I will show you the colors that I got. This is Weeks Dye Works I'll do first, and this is in the colorway Skinny Dip. And the next one is Broom Tree. The next one is, let's see, Bright Leaf. And then we have Chestnut. And let's see, Rum Raisin. And then Twilight. And let's see, Taffeta. And we have Williamsburg. Lichen. Teal Frost. Oops, I dropped it. That's what this one looks like. And then the last Weeks Dye Works that I have is called Bee's Knees, and I love the name of this one. I thought it was funny. And then the one Gentle Art is called Country Redwood. And then the very last one is the Classic Colorworks, and this is Black Coffee. So that was all of the thread for that one. So I will move on to the next one. The next pattern that I found was a Mirabilia, and this is called Morgana. And usually when I get a Mirabilia, I try to get as much of the Fancy Floss or the Mill beads as I can. So I was able to find as many as I could, but that was not all that was called for in this pattern. So I was only able to pick up 3 of the water lilies, and then there was, I think, 5 or 6 different types of beads, and I only found 3 of those as well. So this one is the water lilies in the color white ink. And this one is grape. And then the last one is fir. And then the beads that I picked up were these blue and purple ones. And then these kind of like silvery ones. And then the last ones that I picked up were these white ones. And that was all for that one. And the next pattern that I picked up was Any Town, Tiny Town by Heart and Hands. Wow. So I am actually stitching Big Hearted Tiny Town as well. And I would like to try to collect as many as the Tiny Towns as I can. So I picked this one up because the most that they had was mostly the Any Towns. And that one was my favorite. So I grabbed that one. And then the next pattern that I picked up was the Blue Flower. And this is called the Gentle Rain. And it says, "How sweet the music of the rain" across the top. And the next one I picked is the Blue Flower Forest Home. This one says, "Our roots are in the depths of the woods." And then the next one that I picked up was another blue flower, and this is Spring Quail. And I actually picked this one out because I love the flowers. I do love birds, so a lot of these you will see I have birds. My nickname is Bird because my little sister couldn't say my name when she was younger, so that's kind of where that came from. So if I find anything that has birds that I like, I usually try to pick it up. And this top pillow says, "I sing of books, of blossoms, birds, and bowers, of April, May, of June, and July flowers." And then the next one I picked up is by Stitchy Bendy, and this is the Rolodex Morning Sampler. And this one says, "No grave can hold my body down. I'll crawl home to her." And I picked this one out because I like how the tree is stitched. And so the next thing that I got is the Stacy Nash, and it is part of the Animal Cracker series. So I picked up Lily because I also love frogs. And then she also has a needle keep that I got to go with her, and it just is cute. So the next thing that I picked up is Carriage House Samplings Map of Hawk Run Hollow. And the next thing that I picked up is The Tea Goddess by Tiny Modernist. Tiny Modernist is also one of my favorites. This one is The Stitch Goddess by Tiny Modernist. And then I also picked up Summer Alphabet Garden by Jeanette Douglas. And then the last pattern that I have of the bigger ones is Serenity by Teresa Kogut. So the very last thing that I'll show you, Country Cottage Needleworks has a monthly mini village series that they did last month, or not last month, last year. So I had bought January for Christmas, and they had the entire rest of the set. So I ended up picking up the rest of these, and I will show you one by one what each one looks like. So this is February, March, April, May, June, July, August, which is also my birth month, September, October, November, and December. So that is all of those. I actually just remembered I am missing one of the patterns, so I'm going to pause and I will come back when I find it. Okay, so this is another small pattern, so I didn't realize it was gone until now. But this is the very last pattern that I have, and then I also purchased scissors, so I will show you the scissors that I got. This is Chubby Ew, and this is by Jeanette Douglas. So there's that one. And then the scissors that I purchased are just these black scissors. And then it came with a little cover to go on top of it. So I liked those. I always tried to buy at least one pair of scissors or a needle minder when I go to my L&S because I like to have a variety. And also, you can never have enough pairs of scissors. So that was all for my haul. Next, we'll move into plans. So for April, my plans are to work on my Haid Sal. Like I said, it's hard to bring that one with me, so I only work on it really when I'm at home. And then the next thing I wanted to work on is to try to get farther on Cherry Blossom Creek. That one is on a paper pattern, so I think what would work best, because I'm just going off of the original chart right now, is to try to print out a working copy. That way I can actually cross off what I've worked on, and it'll make it easier to follow for me. So I'm going to try to do that. And then I wanted to work on my Whipco board more, which I have finished. The Deadly Aquarium Sal is one of my goals, and that's the only one that I've actually finished. And then the next one that I have been working on so far this month of April is the Supernatural Sal by Witchy Stitcher. I want to try to make more progress on that, and that was January's call, and I haven't finished it yet, so I'm trying to slowly chug along on that one. After I finish that one, I will be working on the Disney Kingdom, which is why I pulled it out. And then I was thinking about starting the Harbor Haven, since I have all of the DMC and the fabric for it. So I may start that as well. And that was pretty much all that I had for plans. I do have a life update that I kind of wanted to brief you on. Excuse me. So I have mentioned before I am a college student, and I am going to get my associate's degree in veterinary technology. So I'm going to be a vet technician. Um, Basically, what's going on is my program at my school is ending how they're doing it currently. So right now they are considered an alternate route, which means that they are not an accredited program. So not everywhere will accept my schooling if I go to certain places, like certain states or clinics won't accept it. Um, so they are converting the program currently from an alternate route to an accredited program. So after spring of this year, they will not be offering any of the classes that I'm taking. So I have had to speed up the entire process of going through all of the schooling for the vet tech part of my degree. So in the summer, after this spring, I will have all of my vet tech requirements done. So I just have general ed left. In the summer, I will be taking 6 classes to finish up my associate's degree because I had 15 units left that I needed to get. So I picked out 6 classes, which will include math, and then the rest are like electives, like drawing, and I'm doing film appreciation, music appreciation, math. I do have math with support because I am horrible at math. And then I will be doing computer applications as well. So I will be very, very busy during the summer, which is why I'm telling you this, is because I'm not sure how often I will be able to stitch, which means I may not post as much floss tubes. I'm going to try my best to try to stay up to date with what I can, but if I go MIA, that is why. I don't think anyone's really going to miss me that much because I don't have a lot of people that subscribe to me yet. So, but I wanted to at least put it out there. So if you're watching later, you can see, oh, hey, she disappeared for a while. That's why. But after summer, I will be finished with all of my schooling. So hopefully, if things go in the right direction, I can get a job and start building up my hours. Since I am considered alternate route, I have to do 4,416 hours under a licensed veterinarian. So I have lots of work to do. And then I can take my test and hopefully get licensed. So there's that. The last thing that I wanted to do is shout outs. I've seen quite a few people do these, and I thought I should probably try to at least show some appreciations to some of the Flosstubers that I watch. So the very first person that I wanted to shout out was Nikki from Accounted Cross Stitch. I just recently started watching her, I think at the very beginning of this year. I think she started her Flosstube last year. So she has a decent amount of floss tubes if you want to check her out. She also does talk about reading and knitting, which I like because I also read, and I do like seeing people knit. I don't knit and I would like to learn, but it's kind of something that I like to watch. So it's been cool to see what she's been knitting. The next person that I wanted to shout out was Ashley X Stitches, and I wanted to shout her out because every time I post a floss tube, she is always one of the few people that actually comes and comments on my videos and shows me support. So I wanted to shout her out and show her some support as well. And she's very nice. She's also fairly new to Flosstube. So if you're looking for someone else to watch, she's pretty nice to watch. The next person that I just started watching as well is Stuart in Stitches, and I know that he's been posting for quite a while, but I just finally got around to starting to watch his Flosstube channel. He has a lot of similar taste and patterns that I like, so I wanted to shout him out. And the next person that I wanted to shout out is I Stitch Birds. Her name is Laura. And I like watching her because she also has similar tastes in patterns. She stitches a lot of kits, and she also she's just nice to watch. She has kind of a calming voice and she's very sweet, and I like watching her as like background noise sometimes when I'm doing homework or when I just need to put something on to either clean up or what have you. So I like watching her. You should check her out as well. And the last person that I wanted to shout out, sorry, is Stitching with Jessie, and she's also newer. She's also doing the Haid Sal, the same pattern that I am. So it's been nice to watch some of her progress. And she also does a lot of full coverage pieces, which I also like. So I've been keeping up with her. Um, and that was, I think, everyone that I wanted to shout out. So that was all I had for my video today. So if you made it this far, thank you. Again, if you saw anything that you liked, I would appreciate if you subscribed. And I will see you next time. Bye.